accidentally stumbled upon this video, and today, we're back with another Genshin content video. I'll be going over a list of 4-star characters that are worth building for late-game content. Now, by late game, I'm referring to actual endgame content, and honestly, 5-star characters don't always do the job in those situations. I've picked 8 4-star characters to highlight in this video, and to be honest, they're really strong. Some are even comparable to or better than 5-star units in certain cases. Trust me, if you invest in these characters, you'll definitely use them. But before we get into the list, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support my channel. And for those who've already subscribed, I hope you get your desired character within just 10 pulls. Alright, let's begin. Let's start with the first one, Iansan. Now, Iansan is a character that, honestly speaking, is basically an upgraded Bennett. Oh right, before I forget, the order of the characters in this video is not ranked by strongest to weakest or anything. I'm simply listing them from newest to oldest. Anyway, back to Iansan. She has the ability to buff ATK more than Bennett, if the character receiving the buff has a high base ATK. That's because her C2 increases the on-field character's ATK by 30% of their own base ATK. So if your on-field character has a high base ATK, that 30% ends up being a really big number. But Iansan doesn't just buff based on that 30%. She also gives ATK based on her own ATK. At passive level 13, she can give up to 810 ATK. To compare, Bennett holding a 674 base ATK sword gives around 1200 ATK. But Iansan brings even more than just ATK buffs. If she wasn't better than Bennett in some ways, I wouldn't have included her here. She's from Natlan, which means she can use the Cinder artifact set. A set that gives 40% bonus elemental damage to reactions involving her element. So for example, if you trigger Overload, you get plus 40% Pyro DMG and plus 40% Electro DMG, and so on. And at C6, Iansan gives an additional 25% bonus DMG to the active character. So in total, she can give 65% bonus DMG and over 1000 ATK. She's already worth building at C0. Just the Cinder bonus gives plus 40% elemental damage, and she provides around 690 flat ATK. Not bad at all. She's honestly one of the strongest 4-star right now. Next up, the second character, Lanyan. Now you might ask, why not recommend other 4-star shielders like Diona, who offers shielding, battery, elemental mastery, and all that? Well, here's why. Lanyan is an Anemo shielder. That means she can use the Viridescent Venerer set. And more importantly, she's a Catalyst user, so she can equip TTDS for ATK buff, or Sitlali weapon, depending on your team. Her shield is as thick as Layla's, maybe even more in some cases. The one concern with Lanyan is that without the sacrificial, you might not be able to rotate her skill properly at C0. To fix that, you'll need to get her to C6. Third character, Ororon. Now why is Ororon in this list? Honestly, I wasn't going to include his at first, but after thinking it through, he's just too good. People usually think of Ororon as a unit for electrocharged comps, which is true. His passives are built for it. But even outside electrocharged, he's still really strong. He has really high scaling, and he plays like an upgraded Beidou. Remember how Beidou was considered one of the best 4-star back in the day? Ororon's damage is also area of effect, but he doesn't need normal attack interactions to trigger his damage like Beidou does. And his raw damage output is even stronger. He can also equip the Cinder set, which means he can buff teammates too. He works against both single target and groups. And now that Chevreuse is in the game, overload comps are way more viable, and Ororon benefits a lot from that. If you want his to shine though, C2 and up is recommended. At C0, he's a bit on the lower damage. Fourth character, Chevreuse. This one is crazy broken. I'd even say that at C6, Chevreuse buffs harder than Kazuha in overload teams. Yeah, I said it. Let's take a quick look at her buffing abilities. First, if your team has both Pyro and Electro characters, Chevreuse will reduce enemy Pyro and Electro resistance by 40% when you trigger Overload. That's just one passive. Then there's another passive. For every 1000 HP Chevreuse has, she gives 1% ATK to Pyro and Electro teammates. So at 40,000 HP, that's a 40% ATK buff. Then at C6, she gives 20% Pyro DMG and 20% Electro DMG, 3 stacks total, triggered when she heals allies. Since her skill naturally heals, these buffs are basically always up. So at C6, she gives reduce 40% RES, 60% elemental bonus, and 40% of ATK. And again, this is a 4-star character. 5th character, Xiangling, one of the oldest characters in the game. Still insanely strong. Whether it's Overload, Vaporize, or whatever comp you're running, she performs. She's still one of the high damage dealers for Pyro. I won't talk too much here. Most of you already know how good she is. Her sweet spot is C4, and if you have her, you'll absolutely use her. But keep in mind, Xiangling needs support. She has high energy costs, so you'll need to run her with someone like Chevreuse or Bennett. Next up, Bennett. No surprise. Everyone knows this guy's broken. With a high base ATK weapon, Bennett gives 1200 ATK, no problem. Then at C6, you get 15% Pyro DMG bonus, and the ability to infuse normal attacks with Pyro. That's useful for breaking cryo shields or for triggering melt. He also acts as a battery and a healer. He's the full package. No need to say more, just build him. Next character, Xingqiu. Now his personal damage isn't high, but his hydro application is top tier. Even better than some 5-star characters. His sword rain has 2 separate ICDs, the orbiting swords and the ones that launch out. So it's like 2 hydro appliers in one character. He's one of the best hydro enablers in the game, period. And last but not least, Fischl. Still strong in today's meta. With overload teams and with Chevreuse in the game now, she's exploding enemies left and right. She's a character that actually gets better over time. Before, Oz would hit around 9,000 per hit. Now, with Chevreuse, Cinder set and Teammate, Golden Troop set, and all the buffs available today, Oz is hitting 20,000 to 30,000 per hit. No joke. She's like a homing missile crow. She's still very strong, and definitely worth building for endgame content. So that's all 8 characters I recommend for endgame content. Whether you're playing Stygian Onslaught, Spiral Abyss, or Imaginarium Theater. All of them are super valuable and powerful. If this video helped, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe share it to your friends who are new to Genshin Impact. Most importantly, please hit that subscribe button now. If you don't, I'll shoot you. And for those who already subscribe, I hope you get your next character in just 10 pulls. Thanks again for watching this video all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.